What's good, Commanders fans, and happy Saturday. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Just wanted to come on here real quick with basically a 5-minute quick hitter. Just talking about the tight end room and then just a small Terry McLaurin update. Not much of an update. And I also wanted to give a quick shout out to my guy, Pedro Schmid. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. He just had open heart surgery, successful open heart surgery. He just put up a picture on Twitter as well showing that he's okay. So he's one of the awesome Commanders YouTubers. One of the greatest Commanders YouTubes out there. Check out his content. So I'll put the link down to his channel below. Make sure you guys check him out and subscribe to his channel if you guys have not. I know a lot of you guys have already heard of him, but if not, make sure you guys definitely subscribe to his channel. So great guy, goes to Virginia Tech. I think he's about to graduate pretty soon if he has not graduated already. I think he's about to graduate this year. If I'm not mistaken. Hokie High. Shout out to the Hokies, Virginia Tech. Shout out to Jalen Lane as well. And Bayshell Tootin, we didn't draft him, but I've been a Virginia Tech fan for a long time since we had like Marcus Vick and Josh Morgan at receiver. I'm trying to think who else we had at quarterback. Logan Thomas. Would Logan Thomas go to Virginia Tech? Yeah, I think he did go to Virginia Tech. So we've had a couple good guys come out of Virginia Tech for sure. So been a fan for a long time. Michael Vick out of Virginia Tech too. So Frank Beamer Bowl, all that good stuff. But all right, so let's get back to Commanders talk here. So let's start off with the tight end group. So this one will be real quick because this one's kind of cut and dry. The receiver room's a little bit more complex. I forgot to talk about special teams yesterday with the receiver group because special teams is kind of an afterthought with the receiver group because typically we're like, oh, who's going to be the punt returner? Who's going to be the punt returner? And we already know that Jalen Lane is going to be the punt returner for the receiver room. So that's why I feel like we only kept 6 last year, but I feel like in previous years we kept like 7 guys here and there because we don't know who the punt returner is going to be. But since we 100% know who the punt returner is going to be, and they are going to get, I think, significant snaps at wide receiver as well, not just as a punt returner, you really only need to keep 6. But somebody brought up KJ Osborne. They think KJ Osborne is going to make the roster because of special teams, I guess, as a gunner. Or maybe like a kick returner. I think he returned kicks in college or something like that. It's been like a long time. But I just think Chris Moore is going to make it. And I don't think Gallup's going to make it. And I don't think KJ Osborne is going to make it. At this point, I could be wrong. A lot of things could change in the preseason games and whatnot. The dress rehearsal game against the Ravens is going to be huge. The joint practice against the Ravens, is going to be huge as well for those guys, for those last guys on the roster. But that's what I want to bring. That's why I want to bring up special teams for this group. Ben Sinnott probably will be playing special teams. And Zach Ertz, of course, is not going to be playing special teams. And John Bates is not going to be playing special teams, I don't think. I can't remember if he did last year or not. But Colson Yankoff is a big special teams guy. Now, you think about some of the other guys like Dominique Hampton as a special teams guy. Do those guys cancel each other out? Or does one of those guys take one of their roster spots? Are they competing? Even though they're different positions, do you break it down like who's going to be on special teams that we can use more? Like Percy Butler, of course, I think he's still going to make the roster too. So that's why I'm just bringing up special teams for the tight end group because Colson Yankoff is more of a special teams guy. Kane Madrano, another linebacker that's going to be added to the team that we just drafted. He's probably going to be playing special teams his rookie season for the most part. They brought in Alex Cahoe, the undrafted free agent guy. If he's such a special teams demon that he was at Alabama, does he push to make the roster because he's so good at special teams, just like Colson Yankoff is just an athlete and a half? Colson Yankoff, I believe he played running back. He played like a couple positions where you have to be athletic, and he's an athlete. Like, let me see if I can find Colson Yankoff's 40-yard dash and all that stuff because he is quick, man. He is quick. They posted a highlight. I get it was a highlight. He ran a 4.62, which is solid. About average. It's pretty solid for a tight end. But let me see if I can find his RAS score too. Because I think he makes the roster again. Yeah, so he did play running back. He played running back, and then he transitioned. So, yeah, Colson Yankoff was ranked 24th out of 523 fullbacks from 1987 to 2024. So they have him as a fullback. Maybe he could be that Kyle Juszczyk that they're looking for. I mean, maybe Ben Sinnott could be the Kyle Juszczyk. We didn't draft him to be Kyle Juszczyk being a second-round pick. But, I mean, Kyle Juszczyk has had a great career doing what he does, but you kind of drafted Ben Simmons to be more of a traditional tight end. And what we saw him do against the Jets in that preseason game, where he provides yak ability, which we don't get that from Zach. No yak Zach, but yes, I know everybody hates when I call him no yak Zach, because Zach was a baller last year. Zach had 66 receptions. I have the stats right here, so it can be accurate. He had 66 catches for 654 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he played really well in the NFC Championship game. He had 10 receptions in that NFC Championship game. But Colson Yankov had a 9.56 RES score, 9.30. He had a 4.6 40-yard dash, which is elite. 20-yard split, elite. 10-yard split, elite. Shuttle drill, elite. 3-cone drill, elite. Broad jump, elite. Vertical leap, which was good, 33.5. Weight and bench was not good for the fullback position, but he is a tight end. So I don't know how much those numbers would change, but to be ranked 24th out of 523 fullbacks is really athletic. So yes, of course, the tight end group is easier to project. Zach Ertz, John Bates, they just signed him to a 3 or 2 year deal. They're not going to cut Ben Sinnott, of course. They want to see what he can do. I just feel like he's not going to get many opportunities because you're going to have Zach out there a lot. And then you got John Bates. And then after that is Ben Sinnott. Colson Yankoff off the bench. He's not going to get many snaps for regular downs as a receiver, as a receiving tight end. But it's just tough for him to get targets when, Jaden loves Zach. Cliff loves Zach. Zach loves Jaden. Zach loves Cliff. They just have such a great relationship. So it's just tough to see where the targets are going to come from. I do think he can get sprinkled in the offense. He played all 17 games last year. That's one thing to think about, too. He was healthy. He had 5 catches for 28 yards. So he had how many games with 0 catches? I don't know how many targets he had, but yeah, you just got to get more. You got to get more than 5 catches. He had 5 targets. Every target he caught the football. So he went 5 for 5 on targets. So I do feel like Cliff should get him involved more in the offense, especially in the red zone too. The 1 touchdown he got, I thought it was a nice play for Marcus Mariota against the Carolina Panthers. So this guy, Ben Sinnott, I just feel like he needs more opportunities. How tall? He's 6'4", 247 pounds out of Kansas State, 2nd round pick. We just got to get some more from Ben Sinnott. And I still think you can still feature Zach Ertz in the offense and still get more out of Ben Sinnott. And he's a solid blocker too. It's not like he's a bad blocking tight end. Like John Bates, we know that's what he's known for. Ben Sinnott did have a couple penalties last year, like that Giants game. He had like an illegal formation or a false start. You can see Jaden Daniels was visibly frustrated in that first game against the Giants. But yeah, we just got to get more out of Ben as a receiver. I think he's super talented where you can give me like 25 catches. Give me 25 catches. Cliff, give him like 40 targets, 25 catches. Zach had 91 targets and came down with 66 catches out of 91. I think Ben Sinnott can give you 25 out of 40. Give him a 5-yard pass or a 10-yard pass. Just up the middle. In the soft spots of the zone, getting open. Jaden can find. He's capable. Clearly, of course, capable of finding Ben Sinnott in this offense if we give him more chances and more opportunities. And he had a good summer. He's had a good offseason. Dan Quinn singled him out. He said Ben Sinnott, Percy Butler, and I forgot who the other guy was. That he said 3 young guys that stood out to him. And he said Ben Sinnott was one of those guys. I don't think it was Luke McCaffrey, but Ben Sinnott was one of those guys that stood out. And like I said, you see what he did in that Jets game. You see what he did in that Jets game where he broke a bunch of tackles and got a really nice first down in that Jets game from not Sam Hartman, but the other guy. I forgot the guy's name, man. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, man. Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll was the quarterback, and he threw the ball to Ben Sinnott. He had a nice catch. He had a nice yardage after the catch. So yeah, that's really it, guys. It's really cut and dry, like I said, for the tight end position. But I said Jordan McGee was the other guy. Jordan McGee, Percy Butler, and Ben Sinnott are the few young players that have stood out this offseason per Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn said that in a press conference during minicamp and OTAs. So yeah, Yankoff, and then you look at the other guys on the depth chart. Who else is at the tight end position? Cole Turner, he's not going to make the roster. He's going to be on the practice squad. Tyree Jackson's not going to make the roster. I do like Lawrence Cager a lot, who played with the Giants. He was a receiver, went to Georgia, transitioned to the tight end position, so he is an athlete. I do like Lawrence Cager, and Lawrence Cager does have production in the NFL as well. I like guys who have production in the NFL, so I do like that. So we have guys that can come off the practice squad and help out if injuries do happen, knock on wood, to the tight end position. So I would keep a guy. I'm intrigued to see Lawrence Cager in the preseason. We've seen Cole Turner have good preseason. Like Cole Turner had a good preseason with Sam Howell against the Ravens, against the Browns. Like he had some really nice catches in the preseason with Sam Howell a couple of years ago. And Tyree Jackson is, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", or something like that as well. Let me see how tall Tyree Jackson is before I wrap this up. Tyree Jackson is, the Lakers have called the Atlanta Hawks about trading Onyeka Okongwu. Okay. Tyree Jackson 6'7". So why not give Jaden another big target with a lot of catch radius too? So I mean, he can come on with the practice squad too and help out as well. So you do have some help on the practice squad from the tight end position, whoever makes the practice squad. So, all right. So about Terry McLaurin, this is an article from Albert Breer. He basically did a mailbag and he was answering questions. This is on Sports Illustrated. Basically, from Brandon, J Daniels MVP asked him, he said, any word on the Terry McLaurin extension? There's not really much of an update, guys. He says, Brandon, they have a lot of work to do. I'd expect that work will pick up again when the league comes back from break in a few weeks on July 22nd for us. But it's still not in a great place, so we'll see what happens. There's plenty of time to get something done. So it not being in a great place is still not a good thing, but I do think we're going to get something done now. There were some crazy comments on my video yesterday about Terry McLaurin. Biggie0517 said, people tripping over Terry's contract. First, he will get paid. Second, how did it work out for the Chiefs after the Tyreek Hill trade? Just saying, look at it both ways if need be. Now, the difference for us is that we need Terry more than the Chiefs need a Tyreek. Jaden is a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback, top 8 quarterback for sure in this league, but Pat Mahomes is still top 2, top 1. I mean, it's pretty fair to say he's the best quarterback in the league. And I just don't like taking, and he was more of a veteran at the time, and he won a Super Bowl at that time before that trade happened. I just don't like taking away talent from a second-year quarterback in Jaden Daniels. So there's the difference for me, that Pat has been in the league longer, and we know that Andy Reid is just an offensive guru as well. So that's the difference for me. I would not trade away our best receiver by far when you have a guy coming into his second year, and you have a tougher schedule. So I just don't think that's really wise to trade Terry. Like that just doesn't make a lot of sense. But shout out to Biggie0517 for commenting. Tommy Harrison said this team needs Terry. Without him in the schedule, we are nothing but a 500 team this year. I agree with that, basically. I mean, you cannot go into the season with Debo and Noah as your number 1 and number 2. That's just unacceptable. And that's not helping out your young quarterback, who is elite, who's a dog, but he still needs help, clearly. Elements for Nature said a crazy comment. He said, Brooks will make the team, Ja'Cory Brooks. I don't think Ja'Cory Brooks will make the team. He said he may turn out to be the third receiver. I doubt that. He says Luke will make the team. Terry will be traded. That's crazy talk, Elements. Brown will make the team. The third round pick wide receiver will make the team. And of course, Debo will make the team. Whoever is traded for Terry will be the 6th receiver. Yeah, this trading Terry talk is crazy, guys. It really is. It's pretty crazy. It really is. But shout out for commenting, though. All right, and then last but not least, comment. So I'm just gonna, start doing mailbags and stuff like that, guys, and just responding to comments because it's like the dead part of the off season. So that's really that I saw from Terry right now. And like I said, I wouldn't trip over anything until we get to the training camp, and hopefully they get a deal done. I think they will get a deal done. I'm still pretty confident and optimistic, but they're not in a great place right now. But this is what happens in negotiations. We've seen this happen with other teams. Some other teams have ended up trading guys that are not happy. We've seen Brandon Ayuk stay. We've seen Debo happen with the Niners. He stayed. And we've seen a couple of receivers be disgruntled. CeeDee Lamb held out. He didn't even go to training. Jamar Chase last year missed a couple practices. He showed up, but he didn't practice. And he eventually got paid. So something like that could happen with Terry. We know Terry's more of a reserve guy than a lot of receivers in the league. So we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty optimistic. Is it going to be $36, $37 million per year? Is it going to be 30, 32, what DK Metcalf got? We'll see. I think it's going to be about 32. That's my guess. About 32, 33. All right, yes. As always, Hell Commanders. Peace.